كل نهار جديد يبعث معه أملا جديدا لنرسم الرؤية ونصنع الإنجاز. كل نهار جديد يبعث أمجاد الأمس وطموح أمة تسابق الزمن بكل عزم وإصرار. لأجل عمان اليوم غاية وهدف منذ أكثر من 50 عاما، من جيل إلى جيل، لأجل عمان الغد.
مساكم الله بالخير والنور والسرور على جميع الحضور اللي موجودين معنا اليوم هنا. طبعا مستعدين ان شاء الله علشان نبدا اليوم التحديات الجميله والجوله الثالثه اليوم هنا معنا من بطوله عمان الدوليه للانقراض. درفت شباب كلهم مستعدين.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 3 of the Oman International Drift Championship. My name is Mike Gleeson. I will be your commentator this weekend, and I am really excited for this one. We have a crazy track, as you can see by our drone footage there. Mr. Kieran Hines, our head judge, has built the biggest track, the longest track, I apologise, in Oman history. Its track is about 640 metres long, and it is very, very technical. We've got 10 zones with 3 are inside clips and 3 wall rides, and we are in for a brilliant evening of drifting. So our drivers are just finished the drivers briefing. We are making our way, I'm just trying to see in the background there, they're all making their way towards the gridding area, so we should be starting very soon with our first driver, Sultan Al Qasimi from the UAE, in his absolutely beautiful Corvette. This car is immaculate, so Sultan is putting in some whopper lines all day long, so I'm really excited to see what happens here. But just before we start, we're going to take a minute to appreciate the venue here in Oman. This arena is crazy. Grandstands all around, floodlighting, we've got some lasers, neons, we have a big show planned for you. You know, this evening, it's only qualifying. Let's be honest, it's the least interesting part of drifting, but we're getting lined up to get them battles paired for tomorrow, and it's just going to be a cracking event. Like, we watch practice all day here today, and the driving is just out of this world. So yeah, I'm really excited for this one. So yep, if you want, just go get yourselves a drink, get ready, get comfortable, and we will have the first car on the line very shortly.
ووزارة التراث والسياحة، أيضا ريد بول موبايل وتلفار، وأيضا نشكر شكر كبير للجمعية العمانية للسيارات اللي دومها طبعا في دعم هذه الرياضات، رياضة المحركات. هنا معانا في السلطنة دائما وأبدا، يعني البطولات اللي تستضاف هنا في الجمعية يعطيهم العافية على كل الجهود المبذولة. وأيضا أحب أشكر الفريق الطبي الموجودين، فريق المحركات.
So I can hear our first car warming up. You see it in the bottom corner of our screen, and that will be Sultan Al Qasimi, representing Lunatics by Nature. How amazing do all these lights look on the start line. Like, this is just, it's nearly like a rock concert, not a drift event here, and I am super excited to see it. Okay, so here we go. It's Sultan Al Qasimi making his way down the straight. Our first car in qualifying, not getting as deep into that first outer zone like Sultan wanted. You know, maybe just the nerves coming into play here. Bit shallow at clip 2, but he puts the foot down now, transition back, gets outer zone 3 and out to that wall. Lovely now. Oh, and just 3 wheels there, Sultan, unfortunately getting it all wrong. Doing anything he can now to try and salvage this run and try and put some sort of a score on the board. You know, this is his first run, so we'll give him a bit of time. We'll give him time to get used to it. But there we go now. That's what more like we were seeing this morning from Sultan. Lovely filling that outer zone. Perfect. Coming in. Transition now. Lining it up. Through the crossroads. Out to the wall. And over the line. So yeah, there we have it. Our first run from Sultan Al Qasimi. As we see Sultan on the front brakes, they're trying to get that car just a step back a small bit and get deeper in that zones. We know he's got better than him, he's got better than him, so I'm excited to see what he's going to do in the second run. So next up we have Salah in this beautiful S14. This car looks like it's straight out of Japan. I absolutely loving this car. Oh, we see just a small bit of a jump start. I'm not sure what happened there, but our start line marshal is pushing him back, getting him ready to go again. Okay, so Salah leaves the line, making his way through the chicane. Hear him screaming coming down the straight. Big transfer there on the way in. He's getting into zone 1. Oh, just getting a little bit wide. That's two-wheel shot, but he pulls it back in, not putting 4 off. Missing clip 2 completely now. He's going to have to do a lot to get this back on the line, and very shallow yet again. Cutting out clip 3, dropping some wheels by 4. Oh, yeah, no, unfortunately, Salah just getting it all wrong. I think this one possibly could be a 0, yeah. Maybe it's the nerves just coming into play, but some of these guys, you know, it's all fun practicing when no one's watching, but when the pressure's on and it counts, that's when little mistakes come into play. So Salah is just using the rest of his lap to try and get a feel of what the grip surfaces are like. A lot of drivers were telling me that, you know, as it cools down, the track temperatures have dropped and, you know, the grip levels have changed compared to earlier in practice. So it's going to be interesting to see will that come into play as we watch Salah's replay here. Just in zone 1, he seemed to get it all wrong. Cuts 2 out completely, and then here, like, just not even near zone 3. So our judges were saying in briefing from 3 to 4, right where he is now, and on to 5, that's the most crucial part of the track. And if you're not on that line, it's exactly what's going to happen. When you get to zone 5, you're going to be on the inside, because naturally that's where the car is going to end up. So yeah, hopefully Salah can do a few adjustments there now in between his first and second run and pull it out of the bag on the second one. So up next we have Hamza, this V8 E46, yet again just getting it all wrong on initiation. Some of these local guys, you know, the pressure's on them. They've got their friends and family in the crowd here. But yeah, Hamza is just trying to keep this car sideways and on line. So we are starting in reverse championship order, so, you know, the runs do progress as we make our way through the qualifying session. And a lot of these local guys, you know, they're just down here trying to represent Oman, do what they can. But, yeah, just a scrappy run from Hamza, and it's going to be interesting to see what the judges think of this one. He has got it back on line now as he's about halfway around the track, so he transferred very lazy. It's kind of like he's nearly afraid to whip the car, like it's going to spin around on him or that, but he takes it over the line, and it will be a score on the board for him. And a 27 for Hamza, so yeah, not the score he would have wanted, but it's better than 0, I suppose. So up next we have Zarif in this unbelievable E30 representing Syria. So we see the strobes send him off the line. This car is absolutely immaculate and it can move. Look at the smoke. So he lights the wheels up, coming down the straight, putting the foot down now, getting not as deep into zone 1, but he does have 2 wheels in there, making out to zone 2 now, just putting maybe half a wheel over the line as we see a little bit of a straighten, and yeah, just cutting zone 3 out of it completely, not getting out to the wall. So he's now in the most crucial part, and yeah, that opposite drift, that's really, really going to hurt his score. As we see Zarif doing whatever he can to try and keep this run alive, get a score on the board, and maybe shake off them early nerves. Oh, and just a bit of an over-rotation just before the line. He puts the foot in, using every bit of power to pretend like it didn't happen, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what the judges think of that one. And a 16 for Zaref. So, yeah, look, it's a score on the board. It's not a good one, and it's definitely not going to top qualify him, but it gives him an idea what he's up against for his second run. So, up next, we have Abdullah Saif. His Sylvia, if I'm correct. I apologise. I'm looking at the live stream, so I'm waiting for the car to pop up. Oh, that's not good. I don't want to see a driver on the start line with his bonnet open, so I'm not 100% sure what's about to happen here, so we may just all try and figure it out together because we're watching the live stream.
يلا بالتوفيق يا عبد الله عاش موفق ان شاء الله.
So as we see Abdullah make his way off the track, that would be a 0 on his first run. Hopefully they can get that issue fixed and get back out. So up next we have Abdul Magid in his S14. We see him making his way to the start line there now. So we await to get the signal from our start line marshal. Abdul gets away he goes. We hear V8 in his S14 screaming down. Little weight transfer, throwing it out. Not as deep in the clip one, not much angle, but he holds it. Doing the best he can now. Ended up on the inside of the track, missing clip 2 completely. So Abdul is going to have to do a lot of work to try and get back on and get them all important points off the judges. And just a bit of a straighten there by 4 into 5. Scrappy run, just looking like maybe this car has no grip or something. I'm not 100% sure because he was doing some lovely runs earlier on. Abdul now just, yes, transition well too early, getting one wheel halfway in the zone, bringing it around for the last transition and out to the wall. No, just a little bit wide. Will he make contact with the wall? Nah, he has to dial off angle to save the car. Not the best, but a score on the board. So up next we have Mohammed Shekhan in his JZ 350Z. This car definitely caught me off by surprise this morning. I kind of looked at it and was like, oh, it's a fairly standard 350 until he put the foot down. And I can tell you now it is not standard whatsoever. This car is about 600 brake horsepower and a weapon, to be honest with you. So you hear the bangs of it coming down the straight. Throwing it out. Mohammed, very shallow, missing zone 1 completely. Bit of a understeer there now. Can he save it? He's doing his best to try and salvage some sort of his run. These laps take over a minute to do, so you know if you're at zone 3 and you're in trouble already, it's not a good start. As we see Mohammed now, just straightening yet again. Unfortunately getting it all wrong. And another guy that has a lot of work to do on his second. see, when he puts the foot down, you know, this thing has power. It absolutely blinds us with the smoke. But yeah, just unfortunate. Oh, barely making contact with the wall there. But yeah, Mohammed Sheikh Khan, a lot more work to do on the second one. So up next we have Abdulaziz in his Mustang. His car's running about 600 brake. Oh, just seen him missing a gear or something there. I was hearing the limiter and car moving nowhere, which has messed up his initiation. Can we see Abdul get this car back online? He does, just missing clip 2, but doing absolutely anything to keep that Mustang going. Oh, and nearly throwing it backwards into the wall. Does a good job to hold it. Now putting the foot down, using all the power, dabbing the handbrake to keep it on the track. The judges aren't going to be happy with that. Our judges did say in briefing earlier on that from 4 to 5 to 6 is one of the most crucial parts on this whole track. You need to be fast, smooth and consistent. So that dabbing the handbrake and on the foot brake to try and keep you off the white lines, they're going to see that. So yeah, as we see Abdul doing whatever he can to try and salvage in this run. Lovely last zone right in that white line, and he's on the way out of the drift arena. Up next we have Waqas in his 370Z, representing Oman, one of the local boys here. You see, oh, bit of a weird initiation there now, but he's trying to salvage the much he can from zone 2. He's ended up on the inside, missing zone 2 completely. As we see now, a big handbrake tag. That is a decel zone up to that wall, but yeah, just straightening there, coming through clip 4, which is going to push him so wide by 5, nearly missing it completely. He's going to be doing struggling to try and keep this car on track. So I'm wondering, is he having some mechanical issues or what's going on? Another guy that was doing some lovely runs earlier on in practice, and I'm just not sure if it's temperatures dropping, has changed track grip levels, or just guys are suffering with nerves. Yeah, we see Waqas doing whatever he can, bringing it over the line to try and get a score on the board. So he does get a score, and it's a 49. So it's a score on the board. I'm happy with that, but he definitely want to improve for his second run. So up next we have Zarhar, representing Jordan. You see this monstrous S15. I don't even know what's going on in the bonnet of this car. I haven't even paid much attention to it, but I definitely will be heading over that way after the qualifying. As you see, the absolute screams of this thing, putting foot down, absolutely blinding the drift arena in smoke now. Just big handbrake drag. Oh, I'm just shutting it off. Obviously came off power to avoid going out to the walls, so yeah, that would be a 0 for him, unfortunately, and a lot more work to do in the second one. Going to see a replay of this. I'm not sure why, because there's not really much memorable stuff, but we're going to see the replay anyways. And yeah, Zarhar is just a lot of work to do. We're just trying to get all that power down and not enough grip. It's going to be interesting to see him on the second one. So up next, is Abdullah Gerard. Throwing it in, missing zone 1 completely. Yeah, not a lot of guys getting to zone 1. Not really sure what's going on because everyone was doing it in practice, but he gets it back online now. Out to zone 2. Transitions into our first decel zone. Oh, maybe slowing a bit too much. Drags him to the inside of the track. Yeah, he's not going to be happy with this one. Now he's putting the foot down. As we see, ending up on the inside there at clip 5. Doing anything he can to try and salvage the rest of this run, but it's very shallow. And oh, just on his transitions, he's just very, very slow. I'm not really sure what that's about, but you see him now in zone 6. Pushing all the way around. Nice zone there now. Trying to get it back for the last transition. Puts the foot down. Missing the last zone, zone 10, and over the line. Yeah, not the best there from Abdullah. Okay, so up next we have Yazar. As we hear, see all the lights and away he goes, heading off for his first qualifying run. Yazar representing Qatar. See a lovely way of transfer, getting out deep, maybe too deep. As he puts 2 wheels on, putting the foot down to bring that car back onto the track, just showing the power he has in that Silvia. So we see him coming into the first decel zone now, doing a nice job getting it out to the wall as he comes out by clip 4 into 5. Getting 6, lovely. The second half of his run is shaping up very well for Yazar. You see him transition mid-track just as the judges asked. This is a guy that obviously was paying a lot of attention in the briefing. You see him, oh, very shallow there now in outer zone 9 as he comes around for the last transition, puts the foot down. Watch the smoke just appear. This thing is a monster. So next up we have Altelza. Definitely not a standard Altelza by all the flames coming out the bonnet as we see him throwing it in now. Getting that car nice and deep into zone 1. This isn't a bad start to a run at all. As we see Krimis now, and he transition back, line up for the first wall run, and he's a bit shallow there of zone 3. He's going to have a lot of work now getting it out to 4, pushing through 5. That's just come off power a small bit just to keep that car on track. So we see him now transition back around. Lining up for the wall. All the way through 9. It's not a bad run at all from this. Transition. As we see, foot to floor, just bring it out over the line. Look at that one. He's just crazy. Up next we have Samar in his E36 BMW. As we see him there, he's excited. He's put in some good runs this morning and he was confident. Representing the Lebanon. So many different nationalities all here in one paddock. Like it's absolutely amazing what the OAA Association have done, bringing this international drift championship together. It's a credit to them. So we see Samar leave the line. Screaming out of V8 as he comes down the straight. Big flick, hopefully not too early. Goes a small bit too early, gets a half a wheel in zone 1, but not a bad job for a first run as we see him getting out halfway into zone 2, ticking them boxes. Getting out to 3, as you see, maybe leaving zone 3 just a small bit early, but now he puts the foot down using all that power and does a good job to hold it there. I actually thought he was going to over rotate. So we see him now transitioning back around, lining himself up for outer zone 9, gets out to the wall, lovely in outer zone 9, maybe just half a wheel on the yellow there, but not too bad as he comes around for the last transition, puts the foot down, through zone 10, out to the wall and over the line. Just watching back in the replay. This is not a bad run from Samuel. So he's snapped there out towards the wall, just touch and go, exactly what the judges asked him to do. Foot down through zone 9. Be interesting to see him on his second run. But up next we have Mohammed Hamdan. And this monstrous Sylvia. Doing a nice job here now, not getting as deep in the clip 2 as the judges would have wanted. But as he holds it very shallow on 3, it's just like he put it on well too much angle and took it away. Mohammed did have a little tap at the wall area in practice, so maybe that might be a confidence booster, and he's like, I'm not going back out there again. It was well too much damage. So we see him now putting the foot down through clipping point 8, bringing it up for a mid-track transition. Can he get out to the wall? He's getting into zone 9, but leaving it a little bit too early. So you see him coming around now for the last transition into the final corner, getting into zone 10, bringing it over the line. That's not a bad run from Hamdan. Up next we have Mohammed Al Mansouri representing the UAE. As we see him leave the line. Listen to the screams of the Sylvia as he comes down the straight. She ain't a small bit early, but he gets out midway into zone 1. Not doing a bad job at all. Can he hold it all the way around? He does hold it through zone 2. This is shaping up to be a great run from Mansouri. As we see him now leaving 3 early, just like the judge asked. As soon as you finish that zone, get out, but dropping a wheel at 4 now. You see, has to get on the handbrake there just to keep him on the track at 5. Let's see, can he bring it together now for the second half of his run as he transitions out through 8. Nice transition, not as much angle as we'd like to see, but he does hold it. Getting it out through zone 9 now, halfway around the zone, not out in that white line, but at least he's still in the zone. Let's see the final transition, pushing out for the wall. Over the line. Not a bad run from Mohammed Al Mansouri. You see, this is not a bad start to the run at all. Doing a great job. I think it was just here. He left the zone just a small bit too early, which pushed him wide at 4 and then sent him tight for 5. So he could go on the handbrake to kind of keep the car on track there. So the judges did say they would be penalising for that one. So up next we have Ihab in another Sylvia representing the Lebanon. Wait, there is supercharged V8. This thing is amazing. As he comes down now. Oh, big handbrake drag, dropping a wheel right at the start of that clip and not holding much angle, missing zone 1. Can Ihab get this car back on? Very shallow zone 2 as well. As we hear him putting the foot to floor. As soon as he puts the throttle out, I don't know if that's tyre smoke or exhaust smoke, but it looks amazing, it does. So you see him now on the inside of the track, collecting cones. Yeah, just getting it all wrong for Ihab, unfortunately. So another driver is going to have a lot of work to do on their second run. But he's just bringing that cone for a spin. As we see it wedged between his tyre and his side skirt. Around through zone 10 for the, or 9 should I say, and the transition for 10. As I say, it is the longest track they've had here in Oman, so it's a little bit confusing when you're watching on the live stream, but it works very well. We've seen some tandem practice earlier on, and we're in for a treat when it comes to battles tomorrow. Yeah, just a clip 5 there, you see it all going on for Ihab and he picked up them cones. But moving on, our next car is Bakit. As we await our marshals just to tidy up a small bit, fix up them cones, get them back in place, you know, make sure the track is the exact same for all drivers. So Bakit is representing Kuwait in his V8 350C. Screams of it as it's coming down the straight. Throwing it in. A nice initiation, maybe just putting one wheel a small bit over the line, but putting the foot down. Good speed in this from Bakit, but our first driver just to get it all wrong. Overshoot the line there and miss clip 2. So yeah, that will be a 0 for him on his first run. But he's going to use the rest of this lap to feel it out and get himself adapted and ready to the new grip levels this afternoon. Obviously the sun's setting here in Oman, the temperatures are dropping a small bit, it's still fairly warm here, but the track conditions changing consistently, so will that be a factor? And when we get to our second run, only time will tell. Okay, so our next car is making its way to the line, and it is Fui Sharan. This car is an absolute monster. Fui is representing Malaysia. He's the current Malaysian champion, and I was only informed about 20 minutes ago that this isn't his car. He has borrowed this car for the OIDC this season, and I wish I had friends like that, that's all I'll say. But as we see Fu making his way down now, just getting it all wrong on initiation. I don't even know what the rule on that is, because technically he didn't come onto the track. But Fu is putting the foot down, maybe nerves just coming into play a small bit. As you can see, the rest of this run is shaping up to be a good one. It's all going to come back to that initiation point. You see him making way through clip 5 now, doing a good job to keep that BMW on track. Absolute pops and bangs. This thing is a monstrous car. We see Fu now just getting the grip for the rest of this lap. I'm not sure what way the judges are going to score on this, but yeah, he's one of the drivers that's definitely going to have a lot of work to do in the second run. Just that initiation seemed like the flick went a bit too wild and just pushed him out a bit too far. As we see the replay here again, he just kicked the clutch, ended up 4 wheels over. That's going to be a tough one for our judges. It's going to be a tough one, that if it's going to be a heavy deduction or is it going to be a 0. I'm not 100% sure, and I'm not going to speculate. So up next we have, representing Australia, it's Mick Kelly, an Irishman living over in Australia. He said this car has been shipped back to Ireland, and on its way it was past Oman, so he said it'd be rude not to step in. This thing is a monster. It is ridiculously loud. I don't know how everyone in Ireland is going to feel about this, especially all the tracks, but only time will tell. So we're just waiting for some marshals to fix up some cones, and we will be sending Mick Kelly off for his first run. Okay, here we go. Mickey Moo leads the line. They're going ever so slightly there, as we see. Not big speed in, but doing a good job of getting that 180SX out wide into zone 1. As we see him barely on power. Because there it is. Once Mick comes on power, the smoke that appears from his car is crazy. Bit shallow there of zone 3, and just putting 2 wheels off at 4 and doing a good job to keep it off the inside in 5. And yeah, it's just unfortunate there for Mickey Moo, you know, 1 or 2 sloppy little mistakes, so he's going to have to do a bit to keep this running live, as we see the transition out for the wall there through zone 9, keeping that 180SX right in the zone, transitions back across, putting the foot down and out over the line. It's not a bad run from Mickey Moo, but it's not the best either. I have seen him do better today, so I'm expecting more in his second run. So it is at 30 for Mick Kelly on his first run. I do apologise, I am only getting scores for some of the runs, not all of them, so I'm hoping it's fixed up. Up next we have Riyad Al Mabsali in this Mark IV Supra. Riyad is representing Oman, and he is big sim drifter. He's in the set of course word, and putting in some whopper runs there this morning, so I hope I don't put that commentator's curse on him and he panics and messes up, but I'd be expecting a good run. Okay, so we see our start line marshal give the signal. Riyad lead coming down. Listen to the Jay-Z scream as he throws it in deep and maybe too wide. It's going to bring him to the inside of the track. He has to straighten to avoid spinning. His score will definitely be affected by that one, but as we see, he gets it back online now. Riyad showing what he was doing all morning, and yeah, just so unfortunate. I'm not sure what it is that guys are just messing up on the run in there, whether it's nerves, overthinking, or whatever's going on. But yeah, he's going to use the rest of this run, Riyad is, just to get settled, get a feel of the track, and hopefully come out. Just give us one of them runs you were doing earlier, man. There were some whopper runs. We were all going mad watching the Super on track. So you see Riyad now putting the foot down, coming out zone 9, last transition, working through the crossroads again, out to 10 and over the line. So that's a 26 for Riyad. So a lot of work to do on his second run. Okay, up next we have Rifat, representing Oman, in this beautifully prepared 180SX. You hear it coming, tearing down the straight, throwing it in, getting out lovely and deep onto that line. That's exactly what the judges were asked for. This is not a bad run from Rifat. Coming out through zone 2, he's ticking all the boxes so far, transitioning back, getting out to zone 3. Not as deep on the wall, but he still was in it. This should be an alright high scoring run, maybe putting one wheel over there at 4 and same as inside wheel at 5. But Rifat is doing whatever he can to try and save this run. Oh, don't over-rotate, puts the foot in, saves it, gets out to 8 as well. I'm not sure how he did that. Transitions back right now. Lovely line through zone 9, maybe coming away a bit too early, not staying all the way in the zone like the judges were asking in our briefing. But we see Rifat putting the foot down. Look at the flames coming out the back of that 180SX. It's what a car. What a car. Looks amazing too. So a 57 from Rifat actually put him in 4th position now at the moment. It's not a bad first run. Definitely room for improvement. Okay, up next we have Nazir Munteri representing Kuwait. So we see him there, thumbs up to the camera. Nazir was asking a lot of questions in the briefing just before we came to qualifying, because he said he wants every advantage of getting the highest score possible. So no better place to ask them questions than a Kieran Hines briefing, in my opinion. So we see Nazir leave the line. Sylvia comes flying down, throwing it in well too deep. Has to stick it on loads of angle to try and get it back on track and avoid the wall. I'm not sure if that was 2 or 3 wheels, but look, Nazir is going to keep the foot in now and try and salvage the rest of this run. Missing zone 3 completely now. He was on the inside of the track, which pushed him out there, and yeah, just messing up through 4, 5 and 6. So we see him now transition back around for clip 8, and 4 wheels off there. Yeah, just Nazir getting it all wrong. Maybe another driver just suffering with them nerves. I'm not quite sure, but he's going to have a lot of work to do in the second run. So up next we have Ali Al-Shahani representing Oman. He came 3rd place at round 1 in the national category, so there's a few different categories here. We know there's a championship for the local guys alone, and then there's an international for everyone. So it's still the one competition, it's just how the points vary at the end. But we see Ali leave the line fast, in my opinion, but when he puts the foot down, the screams at Sylvia just shook my commentary booth. Ali there now, not as deep in zone 1 as the judgment was. He does have 1 wheel in there though, so there will be a bit of a score as we see him now, makes it out to zone 2, putting the foot down. The absolute screams at his V8. A little bit shallow leaving zone 3. How will that affect 4? He gets out there and keeps it in through 5 all the way out to 6. This is not a bad run. A few mistakes, but still should be a decent enough score on the board. So Ali is our first driver who has blinded the cameras with smoke. But it did look amazing looking at that Sylvia fighting its way through, as we see right on that outer line through zone 9, transitions back around, gets it out to zone 10. This is not a bad run from Ali Al-Mansour. Okay, up next, representing the UK, it is Ian Biz Phillips in his supercharged V8 350Z. Biz was dialing this car in all day long, just playing around with a few little things, him and his team. And then the last run, just before we went to the driver's briefing after practice, before qualifying, Biz came out and put a stormer in. So I'm really excited to see what he does on this one. You see, just clipping the cone, leaving the line there from Biz, but he comes down, throwing it in. Just a little bit wide throwing it in, but it doesn't get all the way into zone 1, unfortunately for Biz. Now, can he salvage this first half? Gets it out to zone 2 as he transfers back around now. Lovely and deep through 3. Pulls away out to 4. Just dropping a wheel a clip 4. 1 or 2 little mistakes from Biz. I'm not sure if it's nerves coming to play or what it is, or if it is the track conditions, but does a good job there through 8. As you see him transition for the wall. Lovely and deep through 9. That's more what the Biz we were seeing earlier on today. As he comes in now for the last transition into the last corner, out to zone 10, filling that zone lovely and bringing it out to the wall and over the line. It's not a bad run from Biz Phillips, but it's definitely not the best I've seen him do. So it's a 55 for Biz in his first run. It'll be interesting to see how he gets on in a second. So up next we have Hussein Musmalani. As he leaves the chicane, it's V8 E46, same one of the nicest guys in the paddock. I know him a good long time now from the Emirates days, and he's just always happy to be here and always trying to improve his driving. And it isn't a bad first section from Hussein. Hussein, another guy who plays a lot of time on the simulators, hoping that practice will transfer over to real life. As we see him now filling zone 3. Little bit of a straight, not too much there coming between 4 and 5. It'll be interesting to see, will that affect in his score. Bringing it there now through the inner clip 7. Transitions back around, getting it lovely. Nice snappy transition like the judges asked. Gets it out to the wall. This is not a bad run from Hussein. 1 or 2 little things, but overall it should be a decent enough score as we see the flames coming out, the exhaust out the side skirt for this E46 BMW. Wow. So a 64 for Hussein. Currently puts him into 3rd position. I think for a fact he's going to be right with that one. So up next we have Harouk Al-Shahani in this beautiful 180SX. I seen this car come in last night and it literally just got a fresh paint job before it arrived. It looks amazing. And yeah, he came 2nd place in round 1 in the national category and 3rd place in the main event. Wow. So yeah, we see Harouk leave the line representing Oman. Listen to the screams of this 180SX as he throws it in nice and deep, midline through zone 1. Not as deep as the judges want, but he is ticking the box. Gets it out, not too deep through zone 2, but yet again still getting it in there. So you hear the screams of this 180SX, using all the lock, but brings him on the inside. Can he get back out? He can get back out from 4, making it work lovely through 5 and 6. So we see him using every bit of that lock kit yet again. Wow, power and locks. It's just crazy how much he's using. Nice transition to the wall, out to 9. Putting the back wheel on the line exactly as the judges asked in qualifying. Transitioned here now for the last time. I'll be expecting a high enough score here. So as we see, we work our way more down the order. We get the score starting to rise. And let's start to figure out shake off the nerves and get going. And an 83 puts him into 1st position. Going to be delighted with that one. So up next we have Nazir Al-Harbali, representing El Salvador. I learned a very interesting fact today that this car basically is the exact same as Ian Biz Phillips. I think they're running different coilovers, but other than that they're the same. The 2 guys never really met before Biz came out to Oman, but we're always in communication. That just shows you what guy Biz is. But Nazir coming down in this supercharged V8 350C, Lovely and wide through zone 1, putting the foot down, absolutely smoking his own out of it. Getting 2 perfectly now as we see him transition, starting to fill zone 3. Once he gets to the end of zone 3, he can start to creep away now, working his way out wide to get to 4, pushing in, putting maybe 1 wheel off there just before 5, but not letting it affect his line too much. So we see him transition back around. The absolute screams of this 350Z. He fills zone 9, lovely. Coming up for the last transition, pushing it out, getting into zone 10, putting the foot down and smoking it out over the line. That's not a bad run from Nazir Al Harbahi. Okay, up next we have Ali Al Bushi representing Oman. This car was on the dyno, so just so everyone knows, there's some workshops out in the back of the paddock, and yes, there is a rolling road in there. So when I seen this car on dyno this morning before practice, it was like, it's a good thing to have at a paddock of a drift event, in my opinion. So we're just letting Nazir's smoke clear a small bit, just to give Ali every bit of an opportunity before he leaves the line. So Ali leaves the line, coming in as we see, nice weight transfer, maybe not as deep as he was earlier on, but he gets that car right into that outer zone 1. That's a very long outer zone 1, maybe just dropping 1 wheel there before clip 2, but he puts the foot down now to try and bring it back out to zone 3. Not too bad, just not as deep and on the walls the judge want to see, but Ali is trying to do, we can see him in the car absolutely fighting that steering wheel. That is, I don't think the live stream cameras do that section justice with the speed the guys are going, but Ali is making it look pretty easy now as we see him transition back out for zone 9. Little bit late coming on the power and not getting all the way into that zone, but not the worst I've seen so far this evening. But yeah, out to zone 10 and over the line. So a 45 for Ali. So as we go back to the line, up next we have Nicholas Solomon representing the USA in this absolutely beautiful BMW E92. Nicholas was putting some good runs in this morning, but he did have just a little mechanical issue. I didn't get over to see what happened because I was actually going through a lot of the pre-show things here in the live stream trailer, but if you see the back of that car, it's looking a bit sorry for itself, but it's back together. But Nicholas always says he doesn't build show ponies, he builds weapons, so I'm really excited to see how he gets on here in his first run. As we have some marshals just adjusting some cones there from Ali's last run.
Nicholas is ready, Jazz, waiting only for the start point.
So Nicholas leaves the line. Hear the screams of this BMW coming down the straight, throwing it in. A lovely initiation from Nicholas. Filling zone 1. Not bad at all now, maybe just half a wheel off there, but he gets out to zone 2. Transitions back around, gets into 3. Will he get out to the wall? No, not as deep in the wall as he expected. Maybe that earlier contact is coming into play. As we see getting in there to clip 5 on the inside, out to 6. Yeah, definitely seen some better runs from Nicholas this morning, but I'm sure we'll see something special here as he puts the back of that BMW lovely out to the wall for zone 9. Not as deep all the way through to zone 9, but he holds the back wheel in. It transitions now for the last time out to zone 10 and over the line. So a 73 for Nicholas Solomon. So up next, representing the Netherlands, it's Clint van Oort in his 2JZ S14. Clint was putting some brilliant laps in the practice this morning and looking so confident and comfortable out there. So I really hope that I don't jinx him here, because I'm rooting for Clint. As we see that yellow S14 leave the lane, listen to the screams of the JZ coming down the straight as Clint throws it in very early, but holds it all the way around, lovely and deep into zone 1. As we see, putting on huge angle, maybe not getting all the way to zone. He's to put the foot down now to try and get that S14 back out to zone 3, which he does. Brings it around now through turn 2, out to club 4, all the way through 5. You can see exactly what the judges asked. Full throttle, no lifting. Lovely and smooth. Clint now, our live stream camera is blind and by the smoke, as you see Clint come back through, lining up for a wall run. Lovely wall run out to zone 9. This is going to be interesting to see what way the judges score this one as Clint transitions for the last time. Oh, I'm not sure what happened there with Clint not making it all the way out to 10 and just having to put the foot down to try and save it. Unusual is what I would call that last transition. I'm not sure, so I'm definitely going to be looking at replay just to try and figure out what happened. And a 60 for Clint puts him in 18th position currently, so yeah, 60, he's a bit of work to do, but a better man to do it. So up next we have Ahmed Al-Larmi. Just see the end of Clint's run there, I'm not sure exactly what happened, but yeah. Ahmed Al-Larmi representing Oman. His V8 absolutely roaring as he comes down the straight. Throwing it in. Not a bad start, Ahmed. Just small bit shallow in zone 1, but he does a good job to hold it, not letting that beautiful looking S15 over rotate. Small bit of a handbrake drag coming in, getting zone 3. Absolutely lovely now. Puts the foot down all the way to 4. This is a nice, difficult section, as our judges are calling it, from Ahmed. As we see him coming back. Transitions now out to 8. Bringing it around. Snappy transition back for the wall. Not getting as deep in the wall, but he is in that zone, so he will be putting a decent enough score on the board here. Unless my commentator's curse comes into play, which I really hope it doesn't, because I am rooting for Ahmed here today. He's such a nice guy. And I just think that 15 looks beautiful. And an 84 for Ahmed puts him into first position currently. So yeah, he's definitely going to be delighted with that one. So up next we have Egris Krogis representing Latvia. So you see Egris leave the line. The BMW screaming coming down the straight, and he is looking fast here now. Maybe dropping a wheel on initiation, but doing a good job to hold it. Look at the speed of Egris as we see him now coming through clip 2. Transitions back out for zone 1 and the first wall run. Is he going to get out? No! And barely getting into the zone and not entertaining that wall whatsoever, which essentially, as our judges say, messed him up there for 4, 5 and 6. Very shallow, that inside clip 7 there. Gets it back out for 8. Now can Egris, transition, get out to the wall? He does. Out to zone 9. Putting a foot down midway around zone 9. But not a bad second half. Just, a few scrappy mistakes in the first half of this run. But Egris brings it over the line, and I'm sure he will put a score on the board. And a 55 for, my apologies, 55 for Egris on his first run. So, score on the board, but plenty of work to do for the second. So up next we have the local man, Haitham Al Hadidi. No, my apologies, we don't have Haitham. Oh, we do have Haitham in a borrowed car, so obviously some mechanical issues that I was not informed by. So it'll be interesting to see what happened there. And it's a borrowed car that he probably has done very little practice, if not none in. But Haitham putting on a show here. Listens to the screams of this E30. As we see him nailing this qualifying line. This is not a bad run from Haitham. The young man is well able to drive his S15 normally, so I'm very curious to understand why he's in an E30, but it's definitely a question I will be asking. See him now filling that second last zone 9 and the transition back around out to 10. Not a bit of lifting at all. Look at that, a beautiful run from Haitham. Brilliant driver, so it'll be interesting to see what the judges think of that one. And a 70 for Haitham in borrowed car puts him into 8th position. Wow. Just shows you, driving talent, doesn't matter what car you're in, talent's talent. So up next we have, representing the UK, it is Bagsy in his weapon of a Nissan PS13. We see Bagsy on the line for his first run. He gets the signal, and here we go. Bagsy representing the UK. Coming in hot as we see him throwing it in big angle, getting out lovely and deep out to that white line from Bagsy. This is not a bad run whatsoever. On the front brakes, keeping the car. Oh, and it just snapped. I am not sure what happened there, and I can see the disappointment in Bagsy shaking his head. It's like he came off throttle and the whole car just snapped, and at that point Steve was just a passenger. So yeah, he's going to use the rest of this lap now to just get a feel for the track conditions and just get another lap under his belt, because Bagsy has it all to play for on his second run. I know he's not going to be happy with that one. Oh, as we see a lovely wall run into zone 9. Bagsy proving a point, going, look, I can do this. I don't know what happened down there, but it won't happen again.
There we go.
Okay, so up next we have Timur Lipsky representing the Ukraine.
الدولية للإيراف. All the best, Timur.
So as we just wait for a small bit of smoke to clear off the track, and Timur gets the signal we can. Here it is, E46 screaming as he's coming down the track. Not as deep in zone 1, but he is very fast. Look at the speed of this. He comes through zone 2 now, lovely. Transitions back wide, gets out deep to zone 3, not all the way out to the wall, but he gets away just like the judges asked, putting a wheel off there at 4, and then which definitely will push him on the inside for 5. But yeah, Timur's doing whatever he can now. Blinded the live stream camera by his own smoke, but I tell you, that looks amazing watching cars come through it. As we see him transition to the wall, a small bit too much angle, does a good job to hold it, not letting it over rotate in zone 9. As he does the last transition now, bringing it out all the way through 10 and over the finish line. One or two little mistakes there from Timur, but I think there is room for improvement from what I've seen him do this morning. So a 67 from Timur. First one. You see the flame shooting from the wastegate underneath that car. It looks absolutely amazing. So up next, representing Lithuania, is Andrus Vasiliauskas. As we see Vasiliauskas leave the line. We wonder how he will get on in his first run, going for a big weight shift, throwing it in lovely and deep, nice and fast, stomping on the front brakes there to hold the line. We see him getting out lovely and wide to clip 2 now. Vasiliauskas throwing it in, not too deep on 3, not near that wall at all, but as you see him dropping, nearly just dropping 1 wheel there through 4, doing a good job to keep it 5 and 6. So putting on huge angle. I thought he was over rotating there, there's that much angle. As we see snap back now, lining up for transition into zone 9. Not too deep in that zone and not out to the wall, but Vasiliauskas probably just wanted to get a score on the board to make sure he makes it in to battle action tomorrow. But yeah, there's Vasiliauskas bringing it over the line. So an 82 puts him into 3rd position. As we see there, I was fully sure at that moment he'd over-rotated. I'd love to know what lock hits in that BMW. So up next we have Ali Maxid in this crazy GT86 representing Kuwait. So we're just letting some of Vasiliauskas' smoke clear off the track. And then we will be sending Ali Maxid, and Ali, one of these drivers, so comfortable in this GT86. He's putting in some crazy runs in practice earlier on. I'm really excited for this one. Look at this. Maybe just a small bit too deep, half a wheel over the line. The white line there in zone 1, but he gets it back for zone 2 now as we see him. All the power, small bit of a handbrake dab coming into 3, filling that zone, but not too deep in it. Putting foot to floor now, keeping it on track through 4 and 5. This is not a bad run from Ali as we see him doing a nice job through the inner clip 7 there. Just kind of held back a small bit before he came on power, let the car settle and back in as he transitions now out to the wall into the second last zone, my apologies, zone 9. Coming around for the big final transition and brings it over the line. That's not a bad run from Ali Maxid. So an 80 for Ali puts him into 4th position currently, so it's not a bad first run from him. Okay, up next, representing Jordan, it's Ahmed Daham. Wait till you hear the anti-lag in this S14. It is absolutely crazy. I was standing down by the track earlier on for practice and I nearly went deaf when he went by me. Ahmed, though, a veteran driver. You know, he's been all over the world drifting. He's a ton of experience. You see Starlight Marshall just adjusting his 360 GoPro that obviously fell down or something. Someone didn't lock the mount in place properly, but you know, we're here to help. At the OIDC, the marshals, you know, we want to make sure you get every bit of advantage, and we also want to make sure you don't break your GoPros. So Daham leaves the line. We can already hear the anti-lag as he comes down the straight. Big flick in from Ahmed Daham. Maybe one wheel on that white line, but he fills the outer zone nicely. Daham now. This is a lovely look at the line between 1 and 2, exactly as the judges asked. Ahmed was sitting up the front of the brief and asking so many questions, so he is obviously going for that top spot. And we see Daham now putting the floor 4, 5 and 6 in the bag, exactly as Kieran Hines asked for in that briefing. Transitions back out to 8, touch and go, lines himself up for the wall, into zone 9. What a wall run there from Ahmed Daham. Beautifully through zone 9. I have a good feeling this is going to be a high scoring run as he transitions for the last time. Lovely and wide out to the wall. That is what we came here to see. Brilliant run from Ahmed Daham. And a 76 from Daham. It's a good first run from him, so it'll be interesting to see how he gets on the second one. Okay, up next, representing Ireland, it is Hinesy, Mr. Alan Hines. Anyone that's in the sim world will know Alan. He is a sim veteran. He's always helping guys out with setups and things like that and doing a lot of online competitions, but he's also a beast in the real thing. So Alan was putting some crazy runs in earlier on. A gear change, well, a diff change, should I say, for a different gear ratio, and he is looking so comfortable out here. So as we see Alan come down, throwing it in nice and wide, filling zone 1, and standing on the front brakes, trying to keep that car out, dropping one wheel there at clip 2, maybe a bit uncharacteristic for Alan, knocking down the clones as we see him, lovely and wide through zone 3, and the speed from Alan Hines here is crazy. All the way through 4, 5 and 6. Can he get back for the inside clip of 7? Yes, he can. Transitions, fast touch and go through clip 8. Lines himself up for the transition onto the wall, filling zone 9. It's not a bad run from Alan Hines. 1 or 2 small little mistakes, but nothing that he can improve on. With the final transition, lighting up them tyres, coming through zone 10 and over the line. So a 64 from Alan Hines in his first run, so lots of room for improvement. Okay, up next it's Nicholas Bertrands representing Latvia. Nick Nack as he's known by his nickname. Another car I actually seen on the dyno in the paddock last night getting mapped. Crazy noises coming when this was doing a few pulls on the dyno, so I'm really excited to watch this young lad drive. You know, I've heard a lot of things about him. He's a bit of a name built up for himself already, and it's going to be interesting to watch him compete out here in the OIDC as we see Nick Nack throwing it in, filling up zone 1, standing on the front brakes all the way around from the start of zone 1 nearly till 2. As we see Nick Nack now transition out to zone 3, lovely, putting the foot down. Listen to the screams of this E36 BMW. So he makes it through 4, 5 and 6. Throwing on a bit of angle, making sure to get to that inside clip of 7. Snappy transition from 8, just as the judges asked. They want clip 8 to be like a touch and go. So we see Knick-Knack now. Not as deep as I was expecting in zone 9, so will his score be affected by that? Only time will tell, but the final transition out wide and out to the line. Not a bad run from Knick-Knack. I definitely think there's room for improvement on that one now. So a 73 from Knick-Knack puts him into 7th position currently. So yeah, room for improvement, but no better man to do it. As we see on the replay here, it's just there. He's died on a bit too much angle, and then he lost a lot of momentum, which made him shallow on 8. And then also in turn going into zone 9, look, he got deep, but he pulled away so early. The back wheel is on the line. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch Knick-Knack's second run. Okay, so up next, a man I am very interested in watching, representing Lithuania. It's Benediktas Čurba. All I can say from watching his practice runs this morning is he is fast. Probably one of the fastest cars seen going around this crazy layout here in Oman. Man, look at this from Čurba. Standing on the front brakes, holding it lovely and wide all the way through zone 1. Out to zone 2, transitions back across, putting the foot down through 3. This is not a bad run so far from Benediktas Čurba. So we see him now going all the way through 4, 5, out to 6. A lovely line, perfectly back through 7. Transitions into that kind of touch and go clip through 8. This is not a bad run from Čurba as he throws it out, tagging the wall. That is exactly what I want to see anyways, because it looks amazing. Filling that outer zone 9, transitions back around all the way through 10. This is going to be a high scoring run from Čurba. And Benediktas Čurba goes into first position with a 93, and that is well deserved. So that is it for our first runs. We move it back to the start, and it is Sultan Al-Qasimi in his beautiful looking Corvette, sitting on the line. So we're just letting some of Čurba's smoke clear. Sultan got a 45 in his first run, so a lot of little mistakes. He's representing the UAE, and he is another driver who's travelled the world, you know, competing all over the place, driving in different countries, so a wealth of experience in there. So I'm excited to see what Sultan does on his second run. So as we see Sultan leave the line, and he screams at FE as he comes down the straight in that Corvette, throwing it in lovely and deep. This is more like it from Sultan, right on that outer line, exactly as the judges asked. Putting the foot down now, getting that Corvette lovely through clip 2. Listen to the screams of this car. So wide through 3. This is a brilliant run so far from Sultan Al-Qasimi. Maybe just dropping one wheel there at 4. Probably my commentator's curse coming into play. I apologise, Sultan. But he gets it back on line now. Through 7. Snappy transition in that touch and go in 8. Transitions for the wall and zone 9. Putting it all the way out there. Lovely and wide. I think Sultan is going to improve a lot on this run compared to his first. Transitions for the last time. Through zone 10 across the line. Wow, what a run from Sultan Al-Qasimi. And an 80.7 on his second run. That's much better from Sultan. He's going to be delighted with that one. So up next is Salah representing Qatar. So Salah unfortunately got a 0 in his first run. And a beautiful looking S14. Absolutely love the look of this car. So a lot of pressure on this man to put it all on the line. He throws it in heavy, but no, just getting it all wrong in an over rotation. Unfortunately for Salah will mean a second 0. And yeah, it's just so harsh when you see guys, you know, driving well, improving all day long, and then when it comes down to the 2 runs they count, just getting it all wrong. But look, we see Salah doing whatever he can, trying to just enjoy this last trap, or this last lap around round 3 track here in Oman. But yeah, I'm sure them guys are going to have to do a lot of looking at that car, figuring out what's going wrong in the steering end of it. Look, we see it there again. He snaps it, nearly goes into the wall. You know, it's only 7 days before round 4, so the guys have a bit of work to do in that car. He gets 2 zeros, but I'm going to give him a 1 for a style point because I think that car looks amazing. So up next we have Hamza. He scored a 27 on his first run. He's representing Jordan, so a lot of work to be done on the second. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how Hamza does on this run. So we see him leave the line. As we see a big flick from Hamza, but he's just a little bit late coming on the power. Brings him to the inside of the track. As he washes wide, gets out to 2, keeps it on, does a very good job. Huge handbrake drag into 3, nearly bringing that E46 to a stop. I know our judges won't like that one, but we see Hamza now holding on, just trying to salvage the rest of this run to see what he can do. He's making it through 7 transitions, very wide. Clip 8, nearly putting 4 wheels off. I don't think he did. The smoke was affecting my angle there, but yeah, not getting it into zone 9 at all. Unfortunately from Hamza, this run is just not coming together like he was expecting. So up next we have Zarif representing Syria. So Zarif scored a 16 on his last run, so another guy that has a lot of work to do. So it'll be interesting to see what Zarif can do in this BMW 30. So we're just fixing up the last of the cones on the track. So our start line marshal gives the signal. And you see Zarif slipping the cone there on chicane, but he makes his way down anyways, throwing it in. Oh, just a little bit late coming on power. The car strained. He did a good job to hold it. Gets it back online now through clip 2 as he puts the foot down. Very shallow. He's actually dropping a wheel on the inside of the track. That's not where the judges want you at all, which makes him in turn very shallow at clip 5. Missing 6. Whoa! I don't know what happened there. It just looks like his subframe fell out of the car. What? We've seen that E30 just lift. That was crazy. Okay, that one definitely caught me by surprise. You can tell by my reaction. But yeah, I'd assume subframe or something. The whole wheel lifted. I don't know. I'll be definitely going to the pits to try and find out what happened after this qualifying session. But yeah, we'll just see a replay of that again there. Maybe this time at least I'm expecting it. So I'm trying to figure out exactly what happens. So you see, like, you know, there doesn't seem to be any issue for the first half. Doing well. Transitions back around here now. Ends up on the inside. We see when he ends up the inside there, missing zone 3, messes up to 4, puts wheels off at 5, misses 6 completely. That's the most important part of this track. And we see there the whole wheel lift up. We're very lucky that could have went another way and we could have had a car in its roof there. So yeah. So our marshals are just heading out to the track to try and recover Zarif. Oh. No, my apologies. The camera's looking to replay and they already haven't gone. Track teams around here, no messing around. So up next is Abdullah Sif, representing Oman. He got a 0 on his first run. So another guy with a lot to do on the second.
شكر كبير مرة ثانية لجميع الرعاة، وزارة الثقافة والرياضة والشباب، وزارة التراث والسياحة، ريد موبايل جلفار، وأيضا شكر كبير هي الجمعية العمانية للسيارات جهودها الدائمة، وطبعا جهودهم مبذولة دائما في إنجاح فعاليات وسباقات رياضة المحركات هنا معنا مسلطنة. وتحية كبيرة، ممكن نسمع تحية لفريق عمان مارشلز، يستاهلوا تحية. فريق عمان مارشلز ما شاء الله عليهم، شباب دائما في الموقع، دائما في الحلبة.
So yeah, we're just waiting on our marshals here. They're just tidying up a few cones that got knocked in that last run, and we will be resuming action very shortly. Okay, Abdullah gets the signal and he leaves the line. Definitely not that fast coming through the chicane, but he puts the foot down now, or does he? Very slow, that car. I'm not really sure what sort of initiation that was, but yeah, Abdullah just getting it all wrong. You see, he really looks like he's fighting that S14 and just ended up on the wrong part of the track. Yeah, just very unfortunate from Abdullah. It's looking not, taking 2 cones and breaking the bumper. And still going. Respect that, I suppose. Not afraid of breaking up his own bumper. And yeah, the cone just gets stuck in behind the steering kit. And just look, he can't even turn the wheel. The wheel is not even touching the ground. It's on the cone. You don't see that every day. Up next is Abdul Majid. So Abdul with a very, very low scoring run in his first one. He barely got a score on the board. It's under 10. So another driver with a lot of work to do on his second run. Okay, so Abdul Majid gets the signal. Going through the chicane. Absolute screams in the V8 and S14. He throws it in, not deep at all in zone 1, but he does have a wheel in there, so he's, and just getting it all wrong there between 1 and 2. It was like he just let off a small bit and the whole car gripped up. Now, a lot of these guys, have these cars gripped up to the 9s because, you know, some of the top drivers here, they are fast and everyone's trying to keep up with them. So, as we say, Abdul breaks the half of his front bumper off, very impressive, and doing whatever he can to try and salvage the second half of this run. Very shallow all around. He is ticking boxes, but he's also dropping wheels in between the clips, so I don't think this will be too high of a scoring run, but hell, as we see him puts the foot down, does anything to hold that S14 on angle and gets it over the line. As we see there, yeah, just between 1 and 2 he seems to come off throttle and then the whole team just gripped up and changed direction on it. It's the level of drift cars nowadays, you know, it's all about grip. Get as much grip and as sticky tyres on, but you have to remember it's not full throttle all the time, so when you let off, if that grips up, you can ruin your run. So up next is Mohammed Sheikhan, representing Oman in this V8. No, sorry, my apologies. It's JZ 350Z. So we just have marshals picking up of some of Abdullah's bumper from around the place, and then we will send Mohammed Sheikhan off the line. So Mohammed leaves the line. As we see, not the best initiation we've seen him do all day. As he does, oh, sounded like he missed a gear there or something. I'm not sure what happened with the whole car straightened. Mohammed really looks like he is fighting to see, trying to do absolutely anything to keep it sideways. I have to laugh at the bangs as I pass my commentary box here. The whole window started vibrating in front of me. Absolute crazy setup he has on this car. You see him transition into zone 9, trying to hold it any way he can. Does Mohammed Sheikhan and brings it over the line. Not the best run we've seen from Mohammed today. So he scores a 34 on that run. It'll be interesting to see if that's enough to get him into battle action tomorrow. Up next is Abdulaziz. No, my apologies, Abdulaziz is not there. Up next is Wokas, representing Oman in his Mustang. Wokas got a 49 on his first run, so yeah, he's a score on the board. Definitely room for improvement. You see Wokas coming out, throwing it in very deep, like very deep, half the car off the track deep. So that's you know, you're starting off with a disadvantage there, in my opinion, on that. But we see Wokas now trying to do whatever he can to salvage the rest of this run, putting the foot down. Listen to the scream of that Mustang as it passes by my commentary box here. Wokas now not doing a bad job for the second half of his run. He's got it back on line transitions, not too deep in his zone 8, but he does get it as he lines up for the wall into zone 9, not near the wall, but he's still in that zone, filling it all the way around, putting the foot to the floor into the last transition, all the way through zone 10 and bringing it over the line. Being interesting now to see what way the judges score that one, because you know the second half of the run was good for Wokas, but the start here, as we see on the replay, so he just threw half the car out wide, so it's going to be interesting to see what way the judges score that one. So up next we have Zahar in his 370Z representing Oman. Zahar got a 0 in his first run, so another guy with all that pressure on his shoulders, and what way is he going to handle it? So we see, looks like a mischief maybe or something on the way up, very slow entering, not much angle, not much smoke, but he does hold it through zone 1 somehow, getting it out wide to 2. Missing zone 3 completely, unfortunately for Zahar, but now, oh, and it's a big straight in there, yeah, and it pushes him out wide. Missing 5, missing 6, just unfortunate for Zahar. From zone 3, he just ended up on the wrong line completely. As we see him there now fighting this 370Z, trying to bring it back on some sort of a qualifying line to get a score on the board, but another straight in there just halfway through zone 9. Hitting cones all the way through 10 and over the line. Yeah, scrappy enough run from Zahar there. Okay, so next up we have Asom representing Jordan in this crazy S15. I still am not 100% sure what's going on in the bonnet of that yoke. I definitely am finding out after this. As we see Asom throwing it in with a wild clutch kick. Looking like he's struggling to control the front of that car, but he hangs on, using all the lock. Unfortunately, just killing so much momentum there. He has to nearly reinitiate back out for zone 3. So we see him now coming down through clip 4. Bit of a straight at 5, but he holds on. And just ending too much on the inside for clip 7, which is an inside clip, but a little bit too inside there, Asom. So you see him transition back out wide, right on the outer line in zone 9, using all the power in the S15, and he over rotates just in the last zone. That's so unfortunate for Asom. Okay, up next, representing Qatar, is Abdullah Jahard. So Abdullah is currently sitting on 0, so a lot of work to do in this second run. So we see Abdullah leave the line, coming in. Oh, he went for a weight transfer initiation, but something happened, like the car gripped up on him. He just brought it in on the handbrake and said, no, Abdullah doing a good job to try and get this 180SX back on the line as he transitions wild for clip 3. That was a lovely transition. So fast, putting foot to floor now, trying to bring it out wide, doing a nice job on inside clip 5, hitting 6, head back for inside clip 7. As he transitions for that touch and go clip 8, not as deep as the judges wanted to see, but Abdullah looks like he's just hanging on here, trying to do whatever he can to bring this 180SX over the line. Lovely line through zone 9 there now, credit where credit's due. Perfectly on that wide line, same for zone 10, so yeah, a good second half for Abdullah, but it'll all come back to that middle section. So up next, representing Qatar, is Yazir. And this monstrous S15. Here the screams as it coming down the straight. Yazir throwing it in wild, but he ends up a small bit inside the track. Has to touch the handbrake to try and get it back out online for clip 2. Making his way around now. Transitioning lovely and wide for zone 3. As we see him coming into the difficult part of the track now, where a lot of drivers seem to be getting it all wrong in here. Between 4, clip 5, and then out to clip 6. We see Yazir there just a little bit too wide, but in the wheel. He brings it back and gets it lined up for that touch go clip 8. Bringing it down. Listen to the screams of this car as he's coming down. Towards outer zone 9 there. It just sounded absolutely amazing on the limiter, using all that power to try and get it back out to its zone 10 and over the line. So yeah, Yazir getting a 40 in its first run. It'll be interesting to see, does he improve in his second. He does improve, he gets 26 in the second run, so enough to get him into battle action tomorrow. So up next we have Krimitz in the Toyota Tezza that I can confirm is not stock whatsoever. So Krimitz got a 77 on his first run. Sorry, I'm trying to look at the other monitor here to see where he's sitting. He is currently sitting in 18th position, so he's going to want to try and get up there. As we see Yazir waving to the crowd, leaving the track. So Krimitz is just sitting there, waiting to get the signal off our start line marshal.
Now we have, as I told you, on the start line, Sir Krimitz from Ukraine. He's ready to go with his car number 38. Just waiting the signal from the marshals.
Flame shooting out the bonnet and side of that Toyota Tezza. So he's on a nice line through zone 1 now. Just letting off power ever so slightly, getting a little bit shallow at 2, but look at the smoke bellowing out the back of this Toyota Tezza. Krimitz putting foot to floor here now, using every bit of power that he's got. Ended up a small bit on the inside there now with clip 5. Will he be able to recover back through 6? Getting a nice through clip 7 now, exactly what the judges want to see. Fast and fluid. Touch and go through 8. Big transition, not getting out deep at the start to the wall, but he gets it deep for the second half of zone 9 as he comes in now for the final transition into the last corner, filling that outer zone 10 and just shutting it down. Just lost all momentum there. Whatever happened, that was very unfortunate for Krimitz. So a 49 in the second run. He will stay where he is. I'm pretty sure he should be safe though for battle action. Up next we have Samir representing the Lebanon. So we see Samir lead the line. And this E36 throwing him wild with a big flick in. Not as deep as we want to see him in zone 1, but he holds it all the way around. Pushing out there, lovely line through zone 2 as we see Samir now transitions a little bit shallow, leaving zone 3, but he does a good job to try and get that E36 back online. But to foot the floor, listen to the screams of this car. You see now transition for that touch and go clip 8. Nice flick out to the wall. Lovely wall run there from Samir. Not as deep all the way through zone 9, you know, maybe just coming away a small bit too early, but as we see him transition into the last corner, perfectly over the line. So that's not a bad. We see him banging the steering wheel. He's not happy. He definitely feels he had a better run in him. That's a 77 pump. So it's not as much as his first run, but it's still a scoring board, and I'm pretty sure he should be pretty safe. His first run will have him safe for that action tomorrow. So up next we have Mohammed Hamdan, my apologies, representing Malaysia. So Mohammed, I don't think I got a score for his first run, and I'm not going to look at my screen right now because he is flicking it in fast into zone 1. As we see, that's Sylvia just gliding around the car, off power, just like waiting until he got it settled and back on power. As we see him now into zone 3, all the way out through 4, into the clip 5. This is not a bad run from Mohammed. Comes into that transition for the touch and go clip 8. And lines himself up for the wall run. Will he get in deep to the wall? He gets close enough, just dropping one wheel around zone 9. Will that affect his score? Only time will tell as he transitions now back through zone 10 and over the line. Not a bad run there. A few little scrappy mistakes from Mohammed Hamdan, but I'm not sure what he got his first run, so I may try and figure that out. Okay, up next we have Mohammed Al Musuri representing the UAE. See Mohammed leave the line, coming tearing down the straight. No way, transfer initiation. He goes for a straight line. Will it pay off for him is the question. The judge is saying, you know, you are rewarded more for the flick, but you can do the straight line handbrake if you want. So you see Mohammed now on a lovely fast line all the way through zone 3. Absolutely. Listen to the screams of this S15 as he nailing through the technical part of this track. A lot of people are struggling. Mohammed seems to be just getting that perfect as he makes his way through clip 8. Now, oh, a bit of a straightening up in the wrong part of the track. He does a good job to try and get it out to zone 9, but he's not as deep as we'd like him to see as he transitions now for the last time, pushing through zone 10 and out over the line. So 61 on his first run and 62 on his second run, so very consistent, but it should be enough, I think, for battle action tomorrow. So next is Ihab in the ES14. Ihab got a 0 on his first run, so a lot of work to play on him. You see a load of smoke shooting out the back there now. I'm not sure if that's from the wheels or the exhaust, but hey, it works, doesn't it? We see him now coming into zone 3. Absolute screams of this S14. Sounds amazing, it does, as he makes his way now through 6 into inside 7. Getting ready to line up for that touch and go clip at 8. Will he get out there? He gets out there lovely to 8. He's not on a bad line for the second half. It is out to the wall. See the sparks off the bumper bar in the back, takes the bumper off. We'll give him some style points for that, surely. I'm only kidding, I'm not a judge, I just get excited when I see good drifting. But we see Ehab bringing it over the line. He is happy with that one. He didn't lift till he got to the exit of the track. So Ehab ran a 17 on his first run and he gets a 55 on his second. Okay, up next we have Bakit. And Bakit, pretty sure got a 0 on his first run, so it's going to be very interesting to see how he can handle the pressure of his second. Knocking the cone as he leaves chicane, that V8 350Z. Big handbrake drag in, but not ended up too deep in the zone, and actually, because of lack of angle, left the zone and made his way back in halfway around, so I'm sure the judges will be watching that one. As we say, we want the guys consistently on a lovely line all the way through the zone, but we have Bakit now putting foot to floor, coming through the difficult section of this track. Just a little bit of a wrong line, which brought him on the inside for 5 and 6. But he does a good job trying to get it back on for the second half. Transitions out wide, through zone 9, midline all the way around, leaving the zone a small bit early. Will he snap back? Is that going to put him too deep for 10? It doesn't. He's on a nice line through 10, so it'll be very interesting to see what the judges think of this one. So Bakit gets a 37, which actually scrapes him into 31st position, so a nervous way for him. Up next we have Fui Shran, representing Malaysia. Fu coming down now on the completely wrong part of the track, not out near zone 1. He's fighting that BMW, trying to get it back for clip 2. As you see him now transition out wide for zone 3, putting the foot down, smoking all the cameras out. As we just gets a small bit, maybe one wheel off track on the inside there of 5, my apologies, getting through 6 and 7, not too bad. Now he lines up for the second half of this track. We're just a bit shy of 8th, and yeah, right on the line. He is in zone 9, but he's not as deep as the judges want. I think Fu is just holding on and really trying to get some sort of a score on the board here, as we see him come out of zone 10 and takes it over the line. So Fu got 0 on his first run, and we're just waiting to see what he gets on his second run. Oh, Fu gets a 40, which puts him into 30th position. So up next we have the Irish Australian, that is Mickey Moo. It's Mick Kelly in the loudest 180X I've ever heard in my life. As we see Mickey Moo coming down, throwing it in nice and wide through zone 1. As we see, he's only playing with the throttle, there he is. Once he puts foot down, this thing just smokes the Oman drift arena over. Mickey Moo small bit shallow there at clip 3, but now he puts the foot down to try and use all that power to get him out wide. As we see him just 2 wheels off at clip 6. Gets back on line now for 7 as he transitions for that touch and go at 8. Nice line from Mickey Moo through clip 8 as he flicks back out to the wall. Lovely. Into zone 9. Putting the foot down and smoking his place over as Mickey Moo transitions for the last time and out over the line. So Mick Kelly is on 30 in his first run, so will he improve? see what the judges think of that one. So that's a 44 for Mickey Moo, which puts him into 29th position. Okay, so up next, representing Oman, is Riyad Al-Mabzali in the Mark IV Supra. So as we just await some of Mick Kelly's smoke to clear off the track there. And here we go. So Riyad gets the signal. So we have a scream stretch as he coming down the straight and he throwing it in. Nice through zone 1, not as deep as the judges would want, but he is holding him well. Riyad got a 26 in his first run, so he does have a lot to play for. He is sitting outside that top 32. Not as deep through zone 3 as we would have liked to see him, but he gets it back online through clip 4, lovely through 5. Works his way out to 6. And he's going to transition for that touch and go at 8. Getting it out. Lovely wall run there from Riyad into zone 9. A nice deep zone 9 coming up for the last transition into the final corner as we see him into zone 10. Huge angle, huge smoke and huge aggression. That's not a bad second half of run from Riyad. He must have found his McCudgeon. So that's a 63 for Riyad on his second run, which will put him into 20th position. Okay, up next is Rifat, representing Oman. Rifat got 57 on his first run, so he's currently sitting in 23rd position. So he'll be looking to move up that order and get a little more comfortable in tomorrow's battle bracket, as we see Rifat with a lovely first section, absolutely beautiful. Nice and wide through zone 1, not as wide to zone 2 as I would have liked, but he still gets there and he was ticking all the boxes as he makes it out through zone 3. Lined up now for clip 4 as he heads for the first inside clip 5. This is not a bad line from Riyad at all as he comes through clip 7. Transitions for that touch and go at 8. Not as snappy as a transition as we're used to seeing from him, but Rifat is doing whatever he can. Nice zone 9, coming away a small bit early, trying to line himself up for 10, where the judges did say hold on till you get to the end of the zone. And there, as you see, he's not as deep in 10 just because he left 9 so early, but overall not a bad run from Rifat. So up next we have Nazir Al-Muteri.
يجهز معانا ناصر المطيري الحين من الكويت على خط البداية.
So we just have our marshals just fixing some cones on the track, and then we will send Nazir in a couple of moments. So you see the lights flick, Nazir gets the signal and away he goes. Clipping 2 cones on the chicane there. So obviously that's something the guys need to watch for tomorrow, but Nazir, straight line handbrake, no way transfer, gets out wide through zone 1 but leaves it very early, as in halfway around, which this will mess him up for 2 and for 3. Now he has to drag the handbrake to try and get out zone 3, but he does just not as deep as we would have liked to see him, as we see him now foot to floor doing absolutely anything through 4, 5 and 6. Getting it back online now as he comes into clip 7. Transitions all the way to 8. And out. Lovely and wide there for her. Zone 9 as we see him battling, hugging that white line as he comes around. As we see him transition for the final time. All the way through zone 10 and over the line. So yeah, Nazir got a 0 on his first run, so it'll be interesting to see what happens on his second. So up next we have Ali El Shinhani, representing Oman. You see Ali practically doing a burnout as he comes down the run in here, throwing in a little bit too deep, putting one wheel off the track, but he gets it back online, filling that outer zone 1, putting foot to the floor, missing 2 completely. It's going to be interesting to see what way he approaches 3. He gets zone 3, not as deep, big clutch kick there. So you see the flame shooting from the back of that car as Ali is doing whatever he can to try and hold up. It's a lovely line there through 6 and 7 transitions. Can't see if he gets 8. He does get 8. Just comes through the smoke. Perfect timing. Big handbrake drag into clip 9. Putting the foot down. The absolute power in this car is crazy. Last transition from Ali as he brings it out through zone 10 and over the line. 45 on his first run, so it'll be interesting to see how he gets on his second. Okay, so up next, representing the UK, it's Ian Biz Phillip. Let's get down to business. Okay, so Biz just sits there waiting to get the signal. As we see it, the smoke is clear, just making sure every driver gets a fair shot at this crazy layout for round 3 here at OIDC. But we see the concentration in Biz. Look at that. Has a look over. It's like he's listening to me. I'm not sure what's going on there. Oh, he is listening to me. Sorry, Biz. So, start line marshal gives the signal. Biz leaves the line. Here we go. This supercharged BA 350C as he throws it in. Not as deep through zone 1, leaving it very early. Not what we used to seeing from Biz. He's a bit shallow there at clip 2 now. Putting the foot down, doing absolutely anything he can. Hold it through 3, a lovely line through 3, out wide there for 4. Now this is an ideal line that the judge were asking for. Biz here really pulling the second half of this run back together as he transitions for the touch and go at 8. Nice and deep all the way through 8. Lining up for a wall run is Biz. Handbrake drag there gets him into zone 9 as he fills that outer line. It's a very nice second half of this run from Biz as he transitions for the final time across and over the line. Bit of a sketchy start, but he definitely did redeem himself in the second half of that battle. So a 55 in his first run and a 59 in his second run as Biz in the 24th position. Up next is Hussein Maslani, representing the Lebanon. So Hussein gets the signal as he makes his way up through the chicane. He screams at the V8 and they oh, and his bonnet flies up. He doesn't care because his bonnet's after braking. I'm pretty sure he can see through the hole in the bonnet. Hussein, that's one of the coolest things I've seen. I am rooting for you, buddy. But just unfortunate he ends up on the wrong side of the track. Credit where credit's due. The man tried it, okay? He did whatever he could do. But just unfortunate
that yeah, happens in nearly every event. You don't want to be that guy. His bonnet comes flying up and you leave the line. I was that guy once. It's not cool. As we see Hussein, he's doing the best he can. Okay, he really is. For a man that's bonnet on the windscreen, he's looking out the side window. He's not doing too bad of a job, to be fair, as he transitions for the last time, brings it out to the wall. Judges, I know he put 4 wheels off, but give him some sort of points for that one. You see him coming out the main street, bang, the bonnet explodes, but he just keeps going. Goes like it's muscle memory at this stage. So we want to see what way the judges will score that. Hussein got a 64 in his first run, so I think he should be safe for battle action. Yeah, so he's currently sitting in 20th position, and it is a 0 for his second run because of that 4 wins off. But look, credit where credit's due, he tried the best. Up next is Tarouk Al-Shahani, representing Oman. Tarouk scored an 83 in his first run, so he's confident for his second one. Obviously a lot of smoke in that car from the burnout when you see them fanning it out before the run. So Tarouk is currently sitting in 3rd position, so this lap is just, this is for everyone at home. This is a little bit more, just one more experience before he puts the car away for the night and gets ready for battle action tomorrow. Okay, so our start line marshal gives Tarouk the signal as he drifts out of chicane. He might as well be doing just a demo lap here, throwing it in on big angle, clipping the cone just outside the start of zone 1, as we see Tarouk carrying huge angle through this first section as he transitions out wide. Lovely and deep through 3 now, making his way back around hidden clip 4 onto the inside clip 5. Lovely technical section, if we're going to call it that, here on this round 3 layout between 4, 5 and 6, and he makes his way out to 8. Last transition, will he get out to the wall? He does, into zone 9, pushing hard, carrying huge angle for this transition is Tarouk, as we see him bringing it out lovely and over the line. Yeah, Tarouk only getting a 62 in his second run, but not as much as first. But look, he is safe. He is going to battle action tomorrow. I'm excited to see what he does. Okay, up next is Nazar Harbali in his supercharged LS 350Z. So Nazir scored an 80 on his first run, which currently has him in 7th position. So another guy safe for battle action tomorrow, so it'll be very, very interesting to see how he gets on. He's representing El Salvador, and he is throwing it in wild into zone 1. Big flick. Loads of commitment on that one, and it seems to have paid off for him as he's on a perfect line through zone 1 and 2. This comes in now for the first transition, flicks it back nice and deep through 3. Here he comes into the most difficult part of this round 3 layout, into 4, keeps the front wheel on track through 5 and the back wheel on track through 6. This is a lovely 9 from Nazir. See, transitions into that touch and go clip 8, lining himself up for the transition onto the wall into zone 9, beautifully poking that white outer line perfectly, just the judge's ass as he transitions for the final time. Out lovely and wide yet again. What a run from Nazir Al-Harbali.
علي البلوشي العلو جاهز على الخط صاحب المركز.
So up next, representing Oman, is Ali Al-Bushi.
الماضية.
So Ali didn't make, or sorry, my apologies. Ali, I didn't actually get the score for his first run. We're having a small bit of technical difficulties, but I'm pretty sure Ali got a good enough run in. I'm trying to go off memory here, but look, let's see what he does in a second, then we'll worry about his first. As we see Ali leave the chicane, coming down, he's going for that weight transfer. Not as wild as we were expecting, but does a good job getting the car sideways. Initiate lovely out into zone 1. As we see him now into zone 2, this isn't a bad run from Ali as he transitions back across, gets zone 3, leaves zone 3, just the judge's ass. Nice midline, small bit deep there at clip 4, but holds onto it to keep wheels on the track at 5 and 6 as we see him now coming into 7, hugging that white line with that front bumper, and he transitions lovely out to 8. That was absolutely beautiful, Ali, and a nice transition along the wall, out wide into zone 9, and he transitions back. It's not a bad run from Ali. So Ali got a 72 in his first run. He's currently sitting in 15th position. I wonder, is there going to be an improvement in a second? No, a 58, so it's not an improvement, but he will stay in 15th position. Okay, up next is Nicholas Solomon, representing the USA. So Nicholas got a 73 in his first run, so it'll be interesting to see what he does here. Nicholas currently sitting in 13th position. So I know for a fact he'll be wanting to push himself more higher up that order. Okay, so Nicholas gets the signal and he leaves the chicane. We hear the absolute screams of this Turbo V8 coming down, and he thrown it in nice and wide. Just stalled up ever so slightly there just to kind of let the car settle, but gets it all wrong there, putting 2 wheels off, just coming into 2. I'm not sure exactly what happened in zone 1 there, but Nicholas now trying to do anything he can to get as much of a score on the board, but once you mess up from that start section, it ruins you for the next few clips as he throws it on huge angle, trying to keep it on track through 7, ready for that transition into that touch and go clip 8. As he moves his way down the track, transitions out to the wall, lovely and deep through 9. As we see him smoking the Oman Drift Arena out of it here. And a lovely transition onto 10. That's not a bad second half, but unfortunately from Nicholas, it comes back to whatever happened the first half, and he ended up washing wide, dropping 2 wheels before clip 2. Yeah, so 57, so Nicholas does not improve, but he will stay where he is. Position. Okay, so up next, representing the Netherlands, it is Clint van Oort. Clint is currently sitting at 23rd position with 60, so he was on for a good run until whatever happened in that last section. So it's going to be interesting to see how Clint does here, because this is a well-capable driver. He has won events out here in Oman before, and I know for a fact he wants to win some more again. But Clint doing a lovely job through 1 and 2 there now on a cracking line. So we hear the screams of that Jay-Z go. Making away all the way through 3. Can he keep it on the track of 4? Yes, he does, on the track of 5. Clint is doing a lovely job here now. This is on for a high-scoring run if he can hold it up. But we're only at the halfway point as we see him transition back for clip 8. And throwing it out along the wall, kissing the wall with the back bumper. A lovely wall run there from Clint. As we see him now coming into the last transition, lining up for zone 10. I'm sure this is going to be an improvement on his last score. This is a brilliant run from Clint van Oort. So a 72 for Clint on the second run, which will put him up into 16th position. So up next we have Ahmed Al-Amri representing Oman. So he got 84 in his first run. He is currently sitting in second position. So another man who will definitely be joining us tomorrow for battle action. Okay, so we see Ahmed leaves the line. Thrown in this lovely looking S15. Hear the screams of that V8. He's on a lovely line here now, is Ahmed. He's doing a good job, lovely indeed through 3 all the way. Coming away exactly as the judges asked, not dropping the wheel of 4. I really hope I didn't do that. Bit of a correction there in an opposite drift, so it'll be interesting to see what way to score him on that one. But look, he's in second place, so I'm very confident he'll be safe tomorrow as we see Ahmed running on the wall. Coming into zone 9, doing a nice job and transitioning back around the last corner in zone 10. He's now over the line. Be interesting to see what way the judges score that one. Yes, what 48 in the second hole, so he doesn't improve, but he still sits in second position. As we see it, replay. It's just all going so well until now. And just whatever happened, I don't know if he let off and the car just picked up. What? Yeah, it's just very unfortunate there for Ahmed. The wall from leaving zone 9 so early, he will be Heavily penalised for that, as the judge said. The driver's briefing today. So up next, representing Latvia, it is Eggers. He scored a 55 on his first run. He is currently sitting in 26th position. Another man that wants to get himself higher up that bracket for tomorrow's battles, as we see him throwing it in lovely and wide through zone 1. Absolutely. Listen to this BMW screaming. It's the speed of Eggers, but you know, he is very fast, but he is also very shallow at the same time. As we see him there now, the shallow at 3 makes him wide at 4. Does a good job to keep it on a 5 and 6 as he brings it back now for the second last inside clip transition back. There we go. Lovely for the touch and go clip at 8. Nice big flick out wide into 9. Filling that zone lovely as the final transition and into zone 10. This is not a bad run from Eggers. Not a bad run at all. So a 55 on his first run and a 50 on his second run. So he will stay in 26th position. Okay, so up next, it is Haitham Al-Hadini. Haitham is in a borrowed car. It's not the car he's been practicing all morning, so he definitely caught me by surprise this morning. So, yeah, but look at this for confidence from this young man, the local boy, as he is throwing this E30 around like he knows, like it's his own car, really, which is not. As we see Haitham now coming there, lovely through 6 and 7. Flicks back for that snappy transition onto 8. Exactly like the judges asked. Out to the wall. Good and deep from Haitham. This is a brilliant run so far. Oh, just leaves zone 9 so quick. I should stop talking. I'm jinxing all these guys. It's not really working out well for them. But we see Haitham bringing it out to the wall. Nearly on lock stops. Coming over the line. That was so cool to watch. So yeah, Haitham getting 70.7 on his first run, but he gets an 81 on the second run, so he will improve, and he improves to 5th position. Okay, next up from the UK, it's Bagsy. Bagsy, you can see him taking deep breaths in the car. He's a lot of work ahead of him. Unfortunately for Bagsy, he got a 0 in that first run, as he was coming through clip 2. Whatever happened, he let off and that car gripped up and snapped direction. But look, Bagsy looking well more confident as he comes in, hugging that outer wide line. Absolutely beautiful initiation from Bagsy as he comes through. Not the same mistake as the last time. Does a great job to hold that car there as he flicks it wild for 3 and kisses the wall. Absolutely magnificent from Bagsy as he takes it down through the inside clip of 4-5, lines himself up at 6. Little bit wide in 7, but Bagsy's doing a good job there now to try and keep that car in between the white lines as he transitions now out for the second wall run into zone 9. Absolutely smoking that PS13, and Bagsy transitions 10 all the way out wide. Wow, credit where credit's due. 1 run to play, he stepped up to the plate in my opinion. But it's going to be interesting to see what way the judges will score. And a 74 for Bagsy, putting him into 13th position. So that will definitely see him join us tomorrow for the battle action. Okay, up next, representing the Ukraine, it's Timur Lipsky. Timur got a 67 on his first run.
He's one of the youngest drivers.
He is currently sitting in 20th position. Timur leave the line, flicking it in. Nice wide zone one from Timur. Absolutely beautiful to watch as we see him now coming by clip 2, just dropping maybe half a wheel there, but he lines up for 3. Very nice. Putting the foot down now. We see this guy absolutely pedaling this E46, doing a good job now getting all the clips. This is a lovely line from Timur, blinding us with his smoke and then coming back through. It looks amazing to watch as he goes out, touching the back of that E46 along the wall, leaving zone 9 though a bit early. I'm sure the judges' score will be affected by that, but we see Timur now transition for the last time and over the line. It's not a bad run. So he scores a 63 on his second run, so not as much as first run, but he will still remain in 20th position. Okay, up next it is Andrius Vasiliauskas, representing Lithuania. He is currently sitting in 4th position with an 82. So another man that will be comfortably enough joining us tomorrow for the battles. So Vasiliauskas gets the signal, he leaves the line, coming down, big flick in from Vasiliauskas. Not bad, very shallow in zone 1. Maybe just threw it in a little bit too hard. He does well to get it back out on the wide line. Gets out there for zone 2. I'm not really sure how he did that, but that looked well. And then he transitions back around very fast and snappy, like what the judges wanted to see. That is a decel zone, but I said you'll be rewarded more if you don't break. And Vasiliauskas taking advantage to try and get as many points as possible. So we see him now transition, my apologies, back through clip 8 and out to 9. Lovely and wide, through zone 9, hugging that white line all the way around as we see him transition back. And around through zone 10 and over the line. So he currently sits in 4th position and the judges score his second run. So yeah, he gets a 65 there on his second run, so not as much as his first, but enough to see him join us tomorrow for the battles. Okay, so we're down to our final 5 cars, and up next is Ali Maxid, representing Kuwait. He is currently sitting in 8th position with an 80, so another guy who's comfortably in the battle action tomorrow. And I know Ali, he's going to want to get higher up that order. This is an a monstrous GT86. You can see the bottle of nitrous just sitting beside him. So, like, you know what's up. So we're just waiting for some of the Silhouette smoke to clear, and it's gone because Ali McSheed is on the way, tearing down the straight as we see him flick that GT86 in. Oh, half his bonnet isn't latched. He could be playing with fire on this one as we see him absolutely killing zone 1, hugging that white line all the way around. This is a lovely run so far by Ali McSheed, getting lovely and deep into clip 3. This is exactly what the judges want, and you know what? This is exactly what I was expecting from Ali. Ali's a well-capable driver, years of experience behind him, and look at this. It is completely shown here as he transitions for that touch-and-go clip, all the way getting out to 8. This is brilliant. Lovely wide line in zone 9 from Ali. I think we could be on for a new top contender around here, but Ali McSheed, what a run. Absolutely brilliant. Doing exactly as the judges asked, and that is what we all tuned in today to watch.
قوي وعرض اقوى بالتوفيق ان شاء الله. الحين عندنا احمد دحام. احمد دحام جاهز من الاردن. طبعا كان المركز الاول في الجوله الاولى هنا في بطوله عمان الدوليه للجراب.
So up next we have Ahmed Daham representing Jordan.
الحين احمد دحام مستعد.
Second score from Ali McSheed, so I'm actually keeping an eye on the screen because I'm very curious in this one. Oh, the judges are looking for a replay. It's the first replay in qualifying we've seen tonight. You see this? Look at that. Maybe was he just putting one wheel off? Very hard to tell from this camera angle. Obviously our judges have a completely different view than we have at home, but they want to make sure, because if this is, I don't want to jinx him, but if it's a top qualifier, we make sure it's a top qualifier. So Ali McSheed gets an 85 and it puts him into second position. He's going to be delighted with that. Okay, back to the line. It's all the pops and bangs from Mr. Ahmed Daham. Ahmed is a worldwide travel driver. He has competed absolutely everywhere, bringing all that experience back to the Middle East. And, you know, he's been a top driver over here for a long time now, so it's very interesting to see what he can do. We see Daham throwing it in very aggressively, just letting everyone know, hey, I'm still here and I'm going to play. Daham will be safe in the battle action tomorrow, but he definitely wants to get up high. And look at this, bringing that S14 out to the wall. This is a lovely run from Daham as we see him now making his way through clip 7. My apologies, clip 5 onto 6. Now he's into clip 7 and transitions back for that touch and go clip 8, lining up for a wall run, and he gets it lovely, hugging that outer line as he comes through zone 9, lining himself up for the last transition. Now will Ahmed Daham bring it out wide and give us another high scoring run for the second one? It's looking like he does, because he brings it out to the wall and over the line. An absolute masterclass from Ahmed Daham. So Daham gets a 76 in his first one and an 88 in the second one, which puts him into second position. Oh, wow. Okay, up next, it is Heinze representing Ireland. It's Alan Hines, as we see Alan coming down, throwing it in. As you can see, third place at round 1, third place at round 2. Alan is fighting for that podium. this weekend, as we see him now stomping on the front brakes, keeping that S14 as wide as possible. Transitions back across now. Lovely wall ride there from Alan Hines as he pushes out wide for clip 4. Making our way down. I'm not sure what happened. Our camera angles are just changing switches, so it's a little bit on me, but I am trying to follow it still. He's gone through 8, lining up for the touch and go, out very wide along the wall for 9, as we see Alan Hines on a beautiful white line and flicks it back across over the line. Wow, that's not a bad run from Hinesy. So Alan got a 64 in his first run. He is currently sitting in 21st position. Let's see how he gets on in his second one. So as we see Nicholas Bertrand sitting on the line, we're still awaiting a second score from Alan Hines. So Alan Hines gets a 77, which pushes him up to 11th position. Okay, so our round one first place, our round one winner, it's Nicholas Bertrand, representing Latvia. So he scored a 73 on his first run. He is currently sitting in 17th position, and I know for a fact he's going to want to get higher that order. So Nick Knack will be our second last driver. So technically Nick Knack is the only one who can knock Benedictus, my apologies, Churba off top spot. So Nick Knack leaves the line. The screens at 36. He comes down, a lovely initiation from this young man as he puts it nice and wide through zone 1. Doing a lovely job keeping the power on there now all the way through 2. Snappy transition into the decel zone. Little dab of the handbrake, but gets it out wide into 3. This is a very good run so far by Nick Knack as we see him now. Oh, just dropping one wheel there of 4. Very unfortunate, but he does a good job to hold it at 5 and 6. Gets tight to the inside clip 7. Transitions back across up to 8. Snappy transition out to the wall into zone 9 as we see him come around the second last corner now. Gets ready to transition for the final time. He throws it wild out perfectly onto the white line and over the finish. What a run from Nick Knack. Okay, so here's our last driver representing Lithuania. He is sitting top of qualifying with a 93. It's Benedictus Churba, and we know this is just a fun celebratory pass of the track. He is throwing it in hot. Look at this from Turba. Absolutely lovely initiation. Getting away too early from zone 1, but gets it back out onto the line for clip 2. Turba now throwing it out wide, bringing it all the way out to the wall there at zone 3. This is a lovely run from Turba so far, as we see him now onto the inside clip of 5, making his way to 6. Tucks it back in nicely for 7. Transition for the touch and go clip at 8. As we see him putting the foot to the floor, transitions out wide into zone 9, the second last zone, as he comes up now and prepares for the final transition of the night. Flicks it back, does Turba, out wide, over the line. That is not a bad run at all. Maybe Turba just tried a little bit too hard on the initiation, came out with zone 1. Other than that, it was nearly as good as his first run.
كبير وقوي بين المتنافسين اللي معانا المتسابقين. راح ننتظر لجنة التحكيم عشان نعرف 32 متسابق المتأهلين معانا.
Okay, so that brings an end to our qualifying session. So make sure and join us tomorrow for the battle action. So we will be going live with the top 32 at 4:10 local time in Oman. So yeah, that's 4:10 local time in Oman. And I will be talking to you then. Thank you very much.
نشكر فريق عمان الطبي لرياضة المحركات تواجدهم واستعدادهم الدائم في أي طارئ، فيعطيكم العافية جميعا. تقدروا نشوف الحين
كل نهار جديد يبعث معه املا جديدا لنرسم الرؤيا ونصنع الانجاز. كل نهار جديد يبعث امجاد الامس وطموح امه تسابق الزمن بكل عزم واصرار لاجل عمان اليوم غايه وهدف. منذ أكثر من 50 عاما من جيل إلى جيل لأجل عمان الغالية.